Hello. Oops. Sorry, I don't have my microphone plugged in here. Sorry. Here we go. I would say it's unprofessional, but I'm not monetized, so I don't have to be professional because I'm not monetized on YouTube here. Hey, how you doing? All right. Yes, so I don't have to be professional because I'm not monetized. So hey, my name's Larry Hussey, and my brand is Drug Force. I'm looking to develop it into a TV cartoon. And I'm also invested in another cartoon called Brooklyn Broke the Universe. And I've invested 85 bucks in that on Kickstarter. And I'm hoping that becomes a great cartoon too. I invested at the t-shirt level. Hmm anyway, anyway, I ordered a Domino's pizza the other day, and I do that every once a year or something. Because I don't like garlic, and they advertise how garlicky their pizza is, and I'm like, I don't like garlic. I like the pizza though. I had a meat lovers, and it's not very garlicky. But yeah, I don't like garlic, and they advertise how new and garlicky their pizza is. So I usually don't go there, but I did this time because they were offering 40% off. So they got me that way. And so their pizza box says, "Do your slice." They have a slogan: "Do your slice, recycle your pizza box." So should we do that? That's the question. I asked Gemini AI, and Gemini AI says that's a good question because Domino's position is that modern paper mills, mind you, modern paper mills, the latest version of paper mills, they can handle. I know usually I say I'm not going to show you ugly things, but I'm going to show you a greasy pizza box. Okay, warning you. All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. I warned you. Here we go. Yes, so um, Domino's position is that yes, this is a 7-Eleven, not a Domino's. And Domino's position is that modern paper mills with modern equipment and modern tools can handle this grease. And that's their position, and they're right. Okay. Now, the other idea is that there are rules in your local recycling community, and those rules might be based on the wider community and not just on what the most modern technology is. And the rules might be based on that anything that's not the latest technology in a paper mill might not be able to handle that much grease. Okay. And so the number one thing is check your local rules, check your local paper mill technology. I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead. I mean, that's cool. No, I mean, I'm not making fun. I'm saying if you want to do that, that's awesome. That's awesome. But a compromise is Gemini. I actually thought of this. I mean, it's not brain science to think about this, but to get this idea. But Gemini also came up with, and Gemini also suggested it too, which is tear off the top of your pizza box, right? The 7-Eleven, I told you. Tear off the top of your pizza box and recycle this part. Put this part in recycling because it's just a tiny little bit of grease. So even though it's a meat lovers, it's just a tiny little bit of grease. And recycle this part. I've obviously just tore it off, just roughly tore it off. I've been working out. I've been totally working out. Oh yeah. And then you take this part that obviously has more grease, less grease down there, more grease here. I'm just having fun. And so this is what you would put in if you have composting in your community. This is great for compost. If you don't have composting in your community, this is great for putting in the trash. Okay. This is compost or trash, basically. Unless you know for sure that your local paper mill that takes recycling can handle this, then you shouldn't shouldn't put it in, because if you, first of all, if you have composting, that's also a good environmental thing. In Seattle, they pick up composting as yard waste, right? This can be put in your yard waste. That's what I'm saying. Yard waste equals yard waste equals composting, and so you can put this in your yard waste bin. Okay, you can put this in your yard waste bin, and it's great. Yard waste bin. Okay, and then you put this in your recycle bin, because they can handle just a tiny bit of grease. Don't, you don't have to be Mr. Clean. Just a tiny bit of grease is okay. I'm also saying that a tiny bit of grease in your pizza box lid, right, is okay to recycle. All right. So the compromise, I love compromise. I love making deals and getting things done and compromising. And so the compromise is recycle the top, compost or trash the lower part. Okay. Now, when I was waiting for football to start, there was this doctor show, and I'm not going to say the name of it, but there was this doctor show, and at the end of it, which is the only part I saw, he said, get enough electrolytes and get enough bottled water. That sounded weird to me. So I looked it up on Gemini, and I said, do doctors recommend Gatorade? Basically. And Gemini said, well, doctors recommend Gatorade for conditions. Like, I take electrolytes for dry throat at night. If I snore too much, I have dry throat that's so bad I need electrolytes. So I do have an electrolyte mix that I put together. And they recommend it for things that dehydrate you. Famously, George Washington died of diarrhea because his doctor told him not to drink water, which was the opposite advice. What you really should do is drink water and electrolytes if you have diarrhea. So George Washington got horrible advice from his doctor. His doctor said, don't drink water, and that basically killed George Washington. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, if you have diarrhea or if you have a condition where a doctor would recommend electrolytes, then take electrolytes like Gatorade. But it said otherwise, we get enough electrolytes from our normal food and tap water. Okay. And then as for bottled water, see, the doctor said that. And then I went to the store and I got me some of this. I got me Safeway brand refreshing spring water. I can get this for $1.50. It's spring water, and it does have a water report. Some of you fans might remember several years ago, one of my early tips was, if you get spring water, make sure it has a water quality report. You don't have to read it, but just make sure it has it. Just make sure it has a water quality report on here that you could check if you wanted. You might want to in the future. Like there was some Rite Aid water that gave me a damn headache. And I warned you about. I made a consumer alert about that. There was some water from Rite Aid that gave me a headache, and that's another reason I hate Rite Aid. And I'm glad they're gone. And by the way, they are gone from here. They're gone. There's still a few around, and I suppose maybe not. But anyway, they're gone. So I bought one. I bought that bottle of water, and one argument for buying bottled water I wanted to tell you is because I love both. I love the two sides of this. I love both sides of it. This plastic bottle is recyclable. Okay. Now on another way, it does have to go at some point. It has to go on some sort of truck and be trucked to my local grocery store, and that takes a lot of fuel because this is heavy. And there is something about that, but also health-wise, we can do that. We obviously do that, and it only costs $1.50 for that to happen. Okay, and we know that our municipal water quality is okay to drink, but we don't know what happens to it when the municipal pipe ends and our pipe begins. Okay, right there where the municipal pipe ends and our home pipes begin. how good are our home pipes? That's the question. And your 10-minute break is over. Have a good day.